the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Copeland.
Here.
Martin. Here. Black.
Here.
Holt.
Here.
Okay, let it be shown that we have 4 members present this evening, with Alderman Mouse and Alderman Grady absent. Taking a look at the agenda, if there are no needed changes, can we get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Curtis. Second by Sam. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Everyone should have had a chance to read the regular meeting minutes of October 20th, 2020. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by David. Second by Sam. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we just finished reviewing the executive session meeting minutes. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Sam. Second by Curtis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for that. Moving right along, we're going to have some citizens' participation, and fortunately for the city of Cuba, we had a 50-year anniversary with Marhall here a month or so ago, and we have another one with Versatech, so they're here this evening. We're going to wait them in there. Yep. We'll allow them a chance to say a few words. Come on up.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. So we have Mr. and Mrs. Garvin with First Attacks. And I was just making mention that the city of Cuba was fortunate enough here a month or so ago to honor a 50th anniversary for Marhall. And now we can honor you guys for the 50th year anniversary in the city of Cuba. So if there's anything you'd like to say or add to that, please do so.
Yeah, just, I grew up in the area and moved away, went to school, and met Bree, we got married and moved back in the area and started working at Versatech about 5 years ago. Just so happy to be back, love this area. It just doesn't really feel like home. I gotta say, we're so lucky to have been now in Cuba for 30 years with our company, and the people that work with us, do work with us, just an amazing set of people. And we really would put up this area, especially in manufacturing, up against any workforce in the country. We feel very blessed to have landed here. So I'm really happy. Thank you for having us tonight.
Sure, absolutely. It's an honor for us to honor you guys for your longevity and your commitment to Cuba for sure. So with that being said, we have a little proclamation for you. So I'll go ahead and read that and hand it over to you guys and get a quick picture if you don't mind. Wonderful. All right. So this proclamation, I'm going to leave out all the whereas. I'll just use the first whereas, just to save us from that. Okay, so whereas Versatech Inc. was organized in 1970 by William T. Tom Reeves, right? When he created the original self-protecting heat tag, a product that he patented in 1970 and still using today. Right?
Yes.
Everybody's seeing these on the rental cars and cars at the sales lots and different things. And Versatech Inc., 50 years later, the company's printed products are still proudly manufactured, packaged, and shipped right here in the USA. Versatech Inc. is a family-owned business, and they are proud of their family continuity. The company leadership is now the 3rd generation of the family, and Versatech Inc. continues to research and formulate advanced materials and develop innovative products via its portfolio of brands and proprietary products to deliver creative solutions, driving their customers' technology and success. And the organization has a proud history of service and commitment to the community, with staff spinning allergy chairs serving out in the community. Now therefore, I, Cody Leathers, Mayor of the City of Cuba, do hereby proclaim Thursday, November 5th, 2020 to be Versatech Day. So this is for you guys.
Nathan and I played Kiwi football together 23 years ago.
Nice.
It was a formidable backfield.
Come on, guys. Sean. Somebody can take a picture of this. Here's all you.
You guys want to take a picture?
What's that?
Snap a picture.
Somebody paint it.
You guys said
Make it painting.
I'll need my phone.
Does the media have a camera?
Should I go portrait or landscape here? I'm not an expert.
What looks better than paper? I don't know.
Got it.
Be sure to smile.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm next on the agenda. So I'm gonna stand here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Alrighty. What else you got, Sean?
Chamber of Commerce Christmas Parade,
When is it?
December 5th. It's the
That's
first Saturday in December. They've asked me to, well, first, before I go any further, I want to say, Chris, thanks to you and your team. Leslie has been a great resource to them. They chamber, through whatever reason, they did not last year reserve red line in a timely manner. And so this year, that actually, the red line was then rented by somebody else on that first Saturday. So it is what it is. Everybody's okay with it. They've come up with a different strategy. We're still going to be able to do the tree lighting, but your team made quite a few phone calls, spent some hours trying to help them solve that problem. So I just want to say thanks. Please tell Leslie thank you. So they've sent me here tonight to ask for permission to close the roads. The route this year, what they're planning on is to go from Wagon Wheel to this time the parade would end at the People's Bank, Frisco's area. And there's been a very generous individual in our community that has lots of toys that has been donated, and so that area is going to be very spacious. And so the idea that they have is they're going to march the parade down there. The parade will end in that area. They will pass out the gifts, and they've got gifts for children of all ages. And then around 7 p.m., I would say at the conclusion of the parade, when the gifts have been handed out, then everyone will be instructed to walk up or drive up to rec line so that we can light the tree. We've talked to the individuals that have rented rec line that evening. They have no problems if we pour into the parking lot and take up those spaces for a brief period of time to light the tree. So I guess my official request to the chamber is to ask permission from the city to be able to close the road so that they can get back to the parade.
Council?
I make the motion that they are able to close the roads that they need for their parade.
Okay. We have a first and a second to allow the closure. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Obviously, you guys will work with
Yes,
yeah,
actually, we'll work with the police. We'll also work with MoDOT because we get across 19. So we've got Roger Bridgman's going to help. He and Lisa Mizell have been a great resource in the past. So we've got that team enlisted to help kind of get everybody lined up and go through the parade. Yes, that's my understanding.
I was asking to start at 5.
Yeah, my next question, it starts at 5 p.m.?
My understanding starts at 5.
Okay, we'd love to have a great turnout.
And we certainly would have you, the media individual, to light up the tree.
Sure.
And our goal is to amass the biggest crowd as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So
I'll
be big for that.
And if you want to get into the parade, who do you contact?
Tanya Bausch with People's Bank, or any chamber board member. So you can visit the chamber website or the chamber Facebook page, and they've got a form there that you can just fill out an application.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I talked to you about this.
Mhm.
I still have to see you in the parade, city trucks in the parade.
I'm going to be in the parade.
How about city truck?
I'd love to have a city truck in the parade. If somebody wants to volunteer their time and let the city truck be representative in there, that'd be outstanding.
I'm letting you handle it, buddy.
Okay, I'll work on it. Yes, I'm going to be in the parade as well, but I'm not going to be in the city truck. I'm going to make my own float.
Right.
Yeah. But no, I'd love to have somebody representing the city of Cuba as well. So we'll work on that. Great.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it greatly.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything else for Sean? Yes, ma'am.
You got a first or second?
Oh, yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You have your road closure, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I get ahead of myself. All right. Thank you, Council. Emergency preparedness report. Rodney, what do you have for us, sir?
We had siren test Tuesday, election day, all worked. And also I was contacted by the Weather Service in St. Louis. We are storm ready certified, the program that I asked for you guys, so it's ready to go. We're going to get a sign to put in, if you guys are willing to put in front of City Hall, but with COVID restrictions, they will not able to deliver that until maybe next year. So, but we're already certified, and I like to work with Craig and see if we can get some floodplain management things to work out that where we can get whoever who has flood insurance can get a rate reduction. So I like to work with him. See
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
we can figure that out. Cameras, they're all working. We had an issue behind Rec Line, I would say about a month or so ago. Some of you guys received an email about that. So I believe that was taken care of. The person has not been back since then. So there is 2 locations I would like to put 2 more cameras in Hood Park. So I'll work with Craig about that. So, but everything's working pretty well. So
Very good. Appreciate your efforts with
Thank you.
that. Anything for Rodney? Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Can I get a clarification? Did you say storm ready certified?
Storm ready certified.
Thank you.
Storm ready, sir.
Certified.
What kind of sign are you talking about?
I can't remember the measurements, but it said that we're the city of Cuba's certified in this program. So it would say that, but I'll send you.
No, I just didn't. I just don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's not going to be a very big sign. So
Anything else?
nope, that's it for me.
Public Works Director. We have for us, Greg.
First thing, we got a discussion of the Historic Museum Board. I think we tabled this last meeting.
Indeed.
So we have looked at that this week. I think we can leave what's there, fix the bracing underneath what's successful, and just leave it the way it is. You guys are good with that. We looked at it, got a lot of fun hour yesterday, try to get it coming along, so.
Are you gonna leave that 2 before the middle of that?
We're gonna change that, that's easily taken out.
Okay.
Gotta leave some kind of brace, yes.
And does that help address some of the concerns?
It'll give us access to now the building a lot easier than now, if there was something happening.
And it'll be safe, I suppose.
Yeah, there's no jagged edges, and just, last step's a little tall, but, other than that, it's gonna be, saves us what we have to work with there.
Do you have any thoughts on that, council?
Well, that's a no cost basically fix to it, right?
Just, I mean, whatever,
Let's try it and see. I mean, I'm not saying that's the final thing. If it doesn't seem to meet the needs, we'll have to go back to the drawing board, but I don't see a problem.
Start with that, see how it works out, and if we need to do something different, then we can circle back around.
Did you speak with anyone up there?
no, she wasn't there the other day, she started catching more.
Okay. Anything else regarding the door? Anything else, Craig?
Okay, probably my second item is going to be, we had a crew terminate the contract on tree trimming, Teresa Street, Belton area over there. And, we would like to use the second highest bidder beyond him to finish that project.
So-
Triple A Tree Service.
Awarded to the next in line.
Yes,
Bid.
if council allows us to do that.
Lance, is that something that is typical protocol in this situation?
I would say so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the original awarded bid, they ceased their contract and next guy in line.
Well, you always have the option of choosing the best contract, you don't have to be the
Sure.
cheapest one. And if that's what council is inclined to do, that was part of the discussion that we had the first time. But if you have been able to verify that he's still willing to
He's willing to do it for the money.
do that contract, you don't need to go out to rebid it because you bid it once.
Very good.
Do we need a motion?
How about a timeline on that?
You said he would start next week.
And honor the same ending timeline.
Well, I think we gave him two more months extra to make it happy because it cost 2 months.
Okay.
So it's gonna be February, he plans on tomorrow, can get done as soon as possible.
Sure, obviously moving into some different weather
Yes,
Make
yes,
it- make it-
you want to take advantage of good weather, it came while it's here.
So you'll see like that ordinance is the last ordinance on tonight, contingent that you all approved it now, and it does have that February 28th.
Okay.
So council, if you'd like, you can entertain a motion to allow AAA Tree Service to assume that contract with a ending date that's going to be amended to make up for the time lost.
Do we need to do that if we're going to do the ordinance later on?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
You said there's an ordinance on here?
Yes, ma'am. It's the last board bill that's on the agenda.
Item number 22, so that's taken care of. This, do we need to approve it now in the reading?
We don't need to make a motion right now.
You can make a motion to approve the bid and do that by motion. The ordinance, obviously.
Let's go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the bid for AAA tree
Okay,
service.
first by Black, second by Holt. All in favor say aye. Opposed? That takes care of that. What else?
We have a lot of surplus stuff deal shop coming up. I want to see if we get permission to bid some of that out.
Absolutely.
I don't know how soon it's gonna happen, but that old chipper over there, just lots of loose stuff we don't use anymore, so.
Yeah, anything we have that we don't need, we can put out for bid. I think that's a great idea, and everything else we just need to get rid of however possible.
We need a motion to get that bid out.
So allow Craig to prepare a bid sheet on the items. Motion to allow Craig to. Motion by Black,
I'll second.
second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so get a bid sheet together, we'll put it in paper.
Okay, it may be that, we need to borrow on this thing. We may
Yeah.
find some more there.
Okay, so whenever you have it ready.
Another one, Green Farms contacted me Tuesday. They're wanting to add on to that. Wanting to purchase another transformer. So we get permission to do a bid this thing, it's gonna be an expensive one.
We've already bought their first one, I assume.
Well, we kinda got lucky because it's already existing building.
Sure.
So yes, something we did years ago. This will be an addition on what they have, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical protocol. We'll need a motion to go out for bids on the specs of the transformer they need and bring it back to the council whenever you're ready for that. Chad would like to entertain a motion to allow Craig to go out for bids for that transformer.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Copeland,
I'll second it.
second by Black.
And then I'd like to have some discussion.
Okay.
We need to figure out something on this when each business is up for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 transformers. I don't know exactly what we can do, but we need to brainstorm an idea.
Absolutely. I know we used to have sort of an earmarked account, retained earning fund set aside for something like this.
It wasn't necessarily retained earning, but it was an itemized bill that went on for the industry. It was called a meter service charge, and dependent on how big your meter is how big the monthly charge was. And I think the highest charge was $100 a month, or might have been some $50 once a month, but you could historically look on a person's bill to see how much they even paid. Not that it mattered, they might have only paid $2,000 and they have a $20,000 one, but at least you're kind of collecting that fund.
So I would maybe ask the electric committee to get together, maybe explore what that program looked like and see if that's something we want to bring back, or maybe brainstorm a whole different idea, or leave it alone altogether.
So Chris, did that just apply, so in this case, it would apply, they would be paying $100 a month, but not everybody in town is going to pay that?
Not everybody in town, no, and it was typically the big industry. It was dependent on how big your meter was, so that if it cost $60,000, $40,000, what have you, for a transformer, those type of people would get the $100 a month, and it was just considered a meter service charge.
But only, well, I guess my point is let's say we have that in place. So that would apply to this business, but not necessarily to someone that we did last week, would not be, or last month. If it's not in place now, and we begin it 2 months from now, and we start.
Oh, no, it travels with you. So if it's a new person moving in, that travels with you.
No, I'm saying like Versatax is gonna have it added to their bill because this place has it.
Yes, everybody would, dependent, because Versatax very well may need that in the future, and that way everything's taken care of and nobody's paying that straight out. I believe other cities actually have them pay for that straight out. And that's another way, but it's really high.
Yeah, look, there's insurance policy that blows up.
Well, I understand, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, set an electric committee meeting. Have it posted, that way anybody wants to come, and we'll have discussion and see what if anything, we come up with.
So we got a motion in a second.
Yes, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll get some bids for the transformer. And maybe by the next meeting, committee, we can have some information on that. Anything else, Greg?
I think that's it, you're gonna do the tree trimming deals. next
Yes.
week. Okay.
Yes, that's what the agenda.
I think that's all I had.
Okay, anything for Greg?
Craig, Cameron, anything on, Oak Hill?
No, I did not, we chatted about something else, and then with that, I'll hit him up tomorrow and see if they're going.
Okay.
So he's getting close on that.
Okay. Anything else for Greg? All right. We do have some tree trimming bids. This is for the area of East Grand. Is there any other streets attached to that?
Every line, there's every street down.
Every street off of East Grand.
Most of them, I should say, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty broad area.
So we have two bids submitted for this project, which we will open here this evening. First bid we have is from AAA Tree Service. And you had a bid meeting with the individuals who bid on this tonight, so they understand the locations, timelines, and everything involved.
We all met together on this.
Okay, AAA Tree Service. Trimble power lines highlighted on the map from ground to sky and removing all underbrush. $9,500. $9,500 from AAA Tree Service. Second bid we have received for this project is from Brown's Tree Service. Don't have my pocket knife on me. All right, Brown's Tree Service, power line cleaning as per city specs. Work will be done with lines energized, with the exception, no name tap between Davis Street and Mickleshade Road for 3 to 5 hours. We'll coordinate that with the electric department. So bids seem very similar. The Brown's Tree Service bid is for $13,200. So first bid from AAA Tree Service, $9,500. Second bid from Brown's Tree Service, $13,200. Craig, as far as you can tell, these are identical, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very cool, yes.
So council, you've heard the two bids. Now it is up to you guys to award what you see
Which
fit.
one would you go with, Craig?
I think both of them are very curious.
Who's AAA? I mean,
He lives out of town, he's from town.
okay.
Yes, he's kind of local, just barely guessing town.
I mean, that's a new name that came into play.
He's a young guy that's doing this. He's trimmed quite a few trees in town, not for us, he's done excellent work.
I'll make a motion to give it to the AAA then, see what he can do.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the AAA bid for $9,500.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will award this bid to AAA Tree Service. Thank you, council.
Mr. Bear, I would like to say
Yes, sir.
something about this.
Alrighty.
And I know it might be impossible, but when we have a bid like this, I'd really like to have a full board on bid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just 3 or 4 of us, I don't like that. I'd like to have a whole full board.
Something we can keep in mind moving forward, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think we may not be able to do that, I'd like to.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is sort of time sensitive with the weather, but yeah, absolutely. We could always call a special meeting if we needed to as well. Anything else? Good. Police chief report.
I don't think I have anything to see.
Okay. Anything for Doug?
I do.
All right.
I still, canine dog, how's he doing? How's she doing?
Doing good.
I haven't seen it out running around, are we using it quite a bit or not?
Oh, yeah, we did see.
Are we having any luck?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you have the dog at the next meeting so Kevin can pet.
Well, I'd like to have a report on the dog. You know, what he's doing, what he's not doing. You know, how many times you used him. You know, it could be a quarterly report.
Well, I can try to pull some of those numbers. We have those numbers. The officer keeps those numbers himself. I can get those numbers and let you know.
But you can't bring him in, huh?
Nah.
All right. I'm good.
Never mind then. Okay, anything else for Doug? Okay. Thanks, sir. Moving on from there, we have a police committee board recommendation. I believe this pertains to the RFQs that we have received regarding the potential new police station. So I will let the police committee member take it from there, who would like to speak up on that.
Yeah, Jeff's absent, so I guess that's me. We met on Monday we met here at 5:15 and discussed the RFQs that we received on the police station project. And it is our recommendation that we award the initial phase to Archer Elgin out of Rock.
Okay, so council, we all received the packet of information from Doug a month or so ago regarding all the individual entities that submitted an RFQ to start taking looks at the next phase of a potential police station. The committee met and recommended Archer Elgin out of Raleigh. So with that being said, do we have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion to accept Archer Elgin by Copeland.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We will contact Archer Elgin and start moving forward.
Should we not have some discussion as to whether or not we intend to do this? I don't recall.
Yeah, I mean, we don't pay them anything. We just have to award this. That way they're on retainer for whatever we might need. I mean, but yes.
I mean, we haven't made a decision whether we're gonna build one, buy one.
Absolutely. But in order for them to even give us any estimates or any forethought, we have to approve this before they'll, start taking time on with this. But with that being said, I think it's important that we hold a meeting to start figuring out what we want to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that should be a full council.
I think so too.
I believe that we should perhaps even have a special council meeting to only address the situation of our properties and our future growth and planning, and that would be the crux of that matter. One thing may lead to another, and I don't like the fragmented thing. Let's decide to do this, and then in 6 months we're going to do this. Well, why didn't we do that when we did this?
No, I agree. We need to get it all down to square one and see what direction we're going.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the police committee only has played its role in the whole thing now, and so any further progress needs to be heard.
Absolutely. So let's get a special meeting together on that soon. I'll work with Chris on some dates and have her get an email out to everybody, and we'll find something that works. No need to waste any time. We'll get it here pretty quick.
Maybe Santa Claus will bring us something.
Maybe. Okay.
All right. Sorry, there's only going to be one meeting in December, is it?
Yeah, we'll discuss that. Typically, December there's only one meeting. With everything going on, we preliminary discussions. We're having our meeting on December 15th. Kind of right there in the middle of the month, gives everybody some time to work around their schedules. But we will still have another November meeting as well, which will be the 16th. So, and if we need to have, we can have as many special meetings as we need to. So, we'll get together on that, Chris. I'll get an email with finally. Alrighty. Next item was the discussion of the fairground camping at Good Park. So we know that this came up where there was a recommendation of maybe capping the amount of campers on our grid at 50. I know Craig and Bobby had went out there and looked at the grid, looked at the system, and kind of felt that what we currently have, that's a safe number to be on that grid, correct? Correct. Outside of that, if there's any other campers brought in, if they can't attach to the grid, they can run off generators or, I suppose, whatever they need to do. My thought on that, though, is what would it take to up our system to where we could attach more campers safely? I mean, is it a big project? I mean, I really don't know.
Big project, yes.
Okay,
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay. Well, and that's fine. We want to be safe. We don't want to cause a fire or tear up our system. So if we need to cap it at 50, you know, that's one thing. My thought was, you know, what can we do, if anything, as a city to accommodate folks that do want to go? But if it's something that's super costly, then, you know, that's up for you guys to decide.
Mr. Mayor, let the fair board look into it and see what they think. Maybe they need 75, whatever. Maybe they were willing to throw extra $20 in, and we could throw extra $20 in, and you see. But I think it needs to go to the fair board, let them, you see what I'm saying? Because we don't have nothing to do with that in 10 days when they take over. So, you know, if we could help them out, we could. You know, 50 is fine, but if they need 75, we can, you know, because I do know we talked about this a few years ago, they just keep adding. So I'm willing to help the fair board out and let them talk to Craig and see if 50 is enough. If not, maybe they can propose it to us.
Sure. Yeah, the main thing is, you know, if it gets closer to fair time, we're a little bit away from now. If nothing has changed, if there's been no additions, then we have to find that safe number. But, you know, we do have a little bit of time, and, you know, my only thought was, well, you know, what can we do to help accommodate all the campers, if anything?
Well, see, we would rather do mine because of the stage, because McGinnis, take McGinnis off of that, and that probably helped quite a bit.
Yeah, we have the power to get there. You're gonna put all the boxes in on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of work to do it. It really needs laid out, maybe figure out what they want, maybe do the board, figure out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, let the fair board come to that.
Would be the best way to handle that.
Okay, so again, we can just table this for now until the fair board offers more input. Is that kind of what we're thinking, or?
Well, we can keep 50 until, I'd like for the fair board to have input in this to help them out, you know? Because I don't know what they need. I don't know if you know.
No, I certainly don't. I mean,
So let them talk to you, Craig, and bring them.
if we need a motion to cap it, you know, we can do that at any time before the fair.
I know I talked to Shane, he's on board with 50 and generating the rest of it now, so.
Okay.
We didn't talk about developing anymore, so maybe that discussion needs to happen.
My thought on the whole thing is maybe, you know, I don't know if it's gonna be a lot in material, but the fair board would definitely need to pay for that if that was something, you know, we might be able to help on the labor side of things, but we don't get any use, the city doesn't get any use out of it except for during the fair, so.
Sure. Okay, well, we'll table it for now. We have a little bit of time.
So we can contact the fair Shane, or does that need to come from the city, or?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can't expect him just to read it in the paper and know that he's supposed to.
sure, I'll call Shane tomorrow and see where he's at. And see if the fair board final action is 50 on the grid, then that's what it is. And then we'll put it on our agenda to make that motion to cap it at that, if that even needs to be done. It's a question for you. I mean, do we have to make a motion to put a cap on it? I guess we can. Or
when you get ready to do, when you find out for certain that this needs to be done, you make a lot of it.
We got till July.
agree. Okay, we'll move on from that. My main thought on it was if there was a way to improve the grid to accommodate the needed amount of campers, but maybe that's not even the case. Okay, bills to be paid. Everybody has all the bills to be paid, and we just need a motion.
Okay, there's a bill that has not surfaced in here because we're not sure whose box that's in. The tourism committee needs a bill paid for power washing of the facility, and I believe the amount is $390, so I'd like to ask that be added to the bills to be paid.
Okay, that's no problem, is it? Okay. So with the bills to be paid that you have in front of you, as well as adding the power washer bill for the tourism center, and the sum of $390, correct, Debbie?
Yes.
We'll add that in there as well, and get those folks paid. Can we get a motion? Motion by Black. Second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Debbie, for that. balance transfers and budget revisions as of September 30th, 2020, which is in your packet. Chris, is there anything you need to add to that?
I think the biggest one, this is what I do quarterly and make any changes in my internal budget. I think the biggest one was unfortunately adding a little bit of bloggers to everybody, except for the police department because they have a different rate than the city, than the general employees do. And in the spreadsheet, it was typed in incorrectly, so it did add a little bit.
Okay.
So that's the biggest change. Another thing I'd like to point out is we did get a insurance claim on some damage at the tourism center, and we got that claim within this period, and that was in the tune of like $9,000. So Debbie, that just for your knowledge too, there is $9,000 added to the tourism.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, the roof.
That can be used to do something nice. Any questions on the fund balance transfers and revisions? If not, motion to approve. Motion by Black, second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Line item 12, discussion of the amended incentive resolution. And I have not looked thoroughly through here. Chris, did you put any literature in here on that?
Yes, so after the fund balance transfers, I decided to keep everything in order. You'll see a blank resolution, there's no, just immediately following the fund balance transfers.
And council, I'll be happy to kind of give you thorough discussion on what the incentive committee was thinking about doing here. Obviously, anything can be changed.
And the biggest change is the second page of the exhibit A, under the utility user charge rate.
So we held a couple of meetings on this with the incentive committee. What we were wanting to do is just take a closer look at our utility abatement program that we offer. We decided as a group that it's not something that we want to eliminate entirely, because it is a great thing to offer businesses who are willing and able to make the necessary capital improvements to their business and the addition of employees to their business.
Honestly, in looking at this, I don't think that wasn't the creation of jobs different and the capital investment different?
I noticed that too, Chris, when I read it on.
Yeah, I did. I'm
That
sorry,
should
I
say,
looked over.
that should say 10 and 250,000.
Yes, those were the old numbers. Let me switch this up. Okay, so what's the most important, council, is we did want industry to know whether that's current industry or new industry that the city of Cuba is open for business, and we do want to offer a hand to help with that as much as we can, but we also wanted to take a closer look at our bottom line and our future forecasts in the time of uncertainty. It was just a really good time to maybe reconstruct our utility abatement program. We came up with a phase 1 for large industry. We might possibly come up with phase 2 for smaller industry, but that will come at another time. You're familiar with what we did have in play was a 5-year abatement program. Upon meeting the qualifications, approaching the council, getting the necessary approval, they could start their 1-year clock. At the end of that 1 year, the program would start up 5 years, and that was 20% the first year, 20% the second year, 15, 10, and 5, correct, Sean?
Correct.
So that was a total of 60%. One thing about that 20%, that's a big chunk out of our revenue. Granted, it does help the industry possibly even procure necessary capital because they can show that they're going to have that large increase, or decrease rather. But we thought we would take that 60% and sort of make it an all-around number and lessen the amount of years from 5 to 3. So what we would like to present is a utility abatement program that will be reduced from a 5-year program to a 3-year program, but have an average even number of 14% per year. So the reduction is still significant enough to where it's going to make sense for industry, but it also helps the city of Cuba by not taking such a big hit with the 20%. 14% is easy math for everybody involved. It helps us forecast, it helps industry forecast. In order to qualify for this program, you would have to show that you're going to create a minimum of 10 jobs and a capital investment into your business of $250,000. That's an increase, and Sean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, from 2 employees and $75,000 capital improvement. So we're making the investment a little bit more significant on the side of the industry, but we're also allowing them a 14% across the board for that 3-year term. Obviously, the monitoring of this is going to be very important. So any business enrolled in this program, as well as the old program, because those who are already in the 5-year plan will remain. Quarterly reports will be brought to the City Hall by Sean. That information will be available for all of us to review, as well as a report will be given quarterly if there are any individuals who are falling below the necessary threshold that would basically remove them from the program. So we'll be taking a look at that, not only quarterly, but at any time you want to see that information will be available. So I don't know if we're actually ready to go any further with this tonight, other than just having a discussion. Basically, again, just to wrap all that up, looking at going from 5 years to 3, looking at going from 2020, 15, 10, and 5 to 14% across the board for those 3. Upping the job creation from 2 employees to 10, and upping the initial capital improvement investment from $75,000 to $250,000. Sean, would you like to add anything to that? Because I'm sure I'm missing something.
Chris, you got it look like.
Well, it's kind of unrelated. I was going to defer to the attorney about the resolution or ordinance. Weren't you going to bring up some kind of discussion on that too as well?
Well, he pretty much covered what I was looking for. There's also a question. So if you look at the exhibit, it's basically an outline, which is probably a little less than ideal. I think the idea behind it was probably to make sure that everything remained as flexible as possible for the city. But there's not a whole lot of meat and potatoes in the resolution. So it's kind of just done by bullet points. If you want to leave it that way, it's perfectly fine, but I think it makes it difficult to administer the program if we don't have a little more detail fleshed out in it. So I didn't want to make any changes to that without council directing me to do so, but I think it's a little detail sparse.
Sure, no, I mean, the outline was mainly the changes from the old and wanted to have council discussion to see if there's anything that needs.
Well, actually, the Exhibit A is what is adopted by the resolution. That's what has been in place this entire time.
Gotcha.
And so it probably would be helpful to have it more fully fleshed out.
Sure.
I'm not capable of
yeah, we can hold another incentive meeting and iron some of that stuff out for you before we start taking it to ordinance.
Well, it's never been an ordinance. This is passed as a resolution. The only ordinances, and again, this predates me, and I know why they did it, and I understand why they did it. The resolution is passed because that establishes the program. You adopt each company into the program by ordinance. So that makes it perfectly legal, and there's no question about it. It's just, like I said, Exhibit A is fleshed out as an outline, and more detail might be beneficial.
Okay, we can do that. I know there was also, now that we're on that, some more to add. We did include some language that penalized for late payments, non-payments. So I don't have that in front of me, unfortunately, and that's that's my fault, but we discussed, if somebody had a late bill, 2 late bills over the duration, that could disqualify them from the program. If a business was making an expansion in town, this abatement is only going to follow the new meter, not their entire industry. So there was some other language that we definitely want to include in here, as well as some other specifics that we might want to put together.
The language for, the second part of what you said there, not the late payments, but
the meter.
The meter.
Yes.
Is actually in there, and I
Yes, I
included
see
some
that.
language that if it's not practicable to, have a separate meter put in there for some reason, that it would then be based off of, the average bill.
Average
for
usage
the
increase.
12 months
Yes.
prior, immediately prior.
Yes. So we'll get this more laid out in detail before we pass it. But you see some of the changes that we're talking about, Council, or anything to add to it? Yes, sir.
I just got one thing, Lane. In this consent thing, they have to hire how many people, Cody?
10.
How many?
10.
10, okay, let's say I hire 10, but yet, a month down the road, I let 4 or 5 go, okay? Is our consent still going for X many days, or not? Or, let's say I'm planning on hiring 20 or 10 in 4 or 5 months, but I'm letting these go right now. So I'm saying, if I got 10 employees coming in, and I get on this consent plan, I let 5 go, does it stop then, or do I have X many days to?
There will be a quarterly review. And so in that quarterly review, if they are below their limit,
When's it stop? Then, or we give them time?
well, as of right now, it would be now.
Okay.
If that needs to be changed, or if you all want to change that, obviously you can. That's entirely up to you.
I was just wondering, okay.
And because I can foresee a possibility of, you have 10 new employees, 9 of them work out, 1 of them decides to leave on their own. Do you want to remove somebody from the program because they are now looking for a 10th employee?
Yeah, I don't want to move them, but I just want to know how that works out.
Well, I mean, I would think that would be taking a look at a situation where there's intentional layoffs.
Yeah.
Then that's a little bit different than, Joe quit and now I'm down.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
And also they have to meet that capital investment as well if you qualify, so that will already have been done. Sean, is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, you covered it perfect. The only thing I was going to add was the addition, what you mentioned with the additional meter, or what Lance had put in with the language if the meter wasn't, but we covered that, so no, I think we covered everything.
Okay. We'll get some more detailed information for council before we take this to a vote to pass. So one of the main things was some of the changes from what we have now to what we may go to. Just wanted to point some of those out. Are there any other questions about that?
No, I just think, it might help us out on transformer too, if they have to put X many dollars in it, maybe they'll buy the first transformer. See what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't know, you guys have had the meeting, I'm good.
Okay, anything else, council? We will have more on this at a later meeting. Okay, moving on. We have some bills this evening, and we are on the second reading of a lot of these, so that will be somewhat helpful. So, line item number 13, we have bill number 1967, and here we have a motion for the second reading. Motion by Holt. Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a contract with Chris Durham and Vicky Durham for the sale of real estate.
Okay, you've heard the second reading, council. Motion to approve. Motion by Holt. Second by Debbie, Sam. Poll the council, please.
Oakley?
Yeah.
Martin?
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Holt,
Okay, let me show the second reading of bill number 1967 passes 4-0 and is now special ordinance 797. Moving on to the next bill, number 1968, we have a motion for the second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Debbie,
Second.
second by Curtis. All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Building Code.
Okay, for the second reading of bill number 1968, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Sam,
Second.
second by Kevin. Poll council, please.
Holt,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Foley,
Yeah.
Okay, let it be shown, second reading of bill number 1968 passes 4-0. It is now general ordinance 1182. Line item 15, bill number 1969, motion for second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black,
Second.
second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading.
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the National Electric Codes.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1969, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt. Second by Black. Poll the council, please.
Foley,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Okay, let it be shown that the second reading of bill number 1969 passes 4-0 and is now general ordinance 1183. Line item 16, bill number 1970, motion for the second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black,
Second.
second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Mechanical Code.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1970, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt,
Second.
second by Martin. Poll the council, please.
Holt,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Foley,
Okay, let me show bill number 1970 passes 4-0. It is now general ordinance 1184. Bill number 1971, motion for second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Debbie,
Second.
second by Curtis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Plumbing Code.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1971, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black,
Second.
second by Martin. Poll the council, please.
Foley,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Okay, let me show bill number 1971 passes 4-0 and is now general ordinance 1185. Give you a chance to catch up. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, line item 18, bill number 1972, motion for second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Holt, seconded by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Fuel Gas Code adoption.
Okay, for the second reading of bill number 1972, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black,
Second.
second by Martin. Poll the council, please.
Holt,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Foley,
Okay, second reading passes by a vote 4-0. It is now general ordinance 1186. Bill number 1973, motion for second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black, seconded by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
an ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Existing Building Codes.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1973, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt,
Second.
second by Black. Poll council, please.
What,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
did you say that's an ordinance amending because this says it's an ordinance repealing?
I guess we probably have to get rid of the old to bring in the new, huh?
Well, I don't know, but we have none of the rest of them that way, so I'm asking.
Yeah. It is replacing, sorry.
Right here.
So just, do I need to read that again, saying?
There needs to be a motion to amend the ordinance.
And change the word repeal to replace.
Yes.
I make a motion to change the word from repeal to replace.
Okay, motion by Black,
Second.
second by Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm confused, hold on, where do you guys have to?
I'm sorry.
So, change the word
No.
repeal to replace.
But on the day that I was on, this was
That one is
the 14th.
I thought we're on
Working on that day.
173.
Holy cow. They're all the same except different.
Yeah, well, the rest of them say adopted.
And could have been adopted too. The word doesn't. We are taking what is existing and replacing with this.
Now we lost.
Okay, so 1973. International where's the language on this mouse? Fire code? That's plumbing code. Plumbing code. I think you're wrong. Still plumbing.
You haven't adopted new code since, before that was, the two that we adopted in 2009. There's two codes that were adopted in 2002. I think it was 2003.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Because I just kind of copied from the last meeting, and copy and paste kind of, and I knew the same ones.
Alright, that
Oh,
was
wait.
detached structures, plumbing, trying to find the fire.
Because I understand where we have 2009 codes, they've been adopted, correct?
Wow, someone wrote it in 2009, or at least there was 2009.
But 2018 is the most current. So in all cases, we should be adopting 2018.
But they don't do it every year.
Sometimes like the special ones, not 2018.
Okay.
Like it's not updated as much as well, so it should be.
I'm gonna say the fire one wasn't even done the last time, because these were all copied and
What's table 73?
I guess what I'm saying though, 73 is actually a different ordinance.
Gotcha.
Can we change that one and then add the fire one to the next meeting?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the fire one that's actually not on the agenda is the International Existing Building Codes one?
That is what 73 actually is.
Yes.
Okay, so probably need a motion to amend 73's reading from that to international.
Well, that's what I actually read. What is on the agenda is incorrect to what I actually read.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? And what you all had in your packet,
And what we did for the first reading.
you all had this one, yeah, that was all correct, the actual agenda
This is the
language
only thing that's written wrong, is that what you're
on the agenda only.
You got existing in the last meeting, correct?
Okay.
So what's just,
I'll add that fire one next, if that's okay.
You just tell me what motion I need to make so we can get through this.
well, we just passed it.
Got involved with that.
We just passed it, so we're good. Okay.
The only thing I did not do is do the roll call vote on the second reading.
Okay, so on the second reading, let's just go back to that. You have the motion made for the second reading,
Yes, Holt and Black.
okay? And everybody was good with that, and then you read it. So, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1973, motion to approve.
I even have that,
Okay.
that discussion we were at, so I did just the roll call.
Okay, roll call.
Copeland?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
I apologize.
Very good. Thank you, council. Going to be shown the second reading of bill number 1973 passes 4-0 and is now general ordinance 1187.
That's why we shouldn't do this many.
Okay, motion for the second reading of bill number 1974.
Motion.
Motion by Martin.
Second.
Don't look down. Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
An ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the International Residential Code.
There you have it. You've heard the second reading. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt. Second by Black. Hold council, please.
Holt?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Copeland?
Okay, second reading of 74 passes 4-0 and is now general ordinance 1188. We now have bill number 1975. Motion for the second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Martin. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Second reading.
An ordinance amending chapter 6, article 3, section 6-65 of the Cuba City Code relating to the Energy Conservation Code.
Okay, you've heard second reading of bill number 1975. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Black. Hold council, please.
Copeland?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Let me show with the vote of 4-0 that bill number 1975 is now ordinance, general ordinance 1189. And last but not least, we have bill number 1976, which we will need 2 readings of. This is from what we talked about earlier, council. This is approving is this approving the bid or approving the change?
So this is actually a contract for him to sign with his stipulations. He had bid $18,000, and then like Craig said, it's extending it to February 28, 2024.
Okay. Yeah, this is for taking over from the,
Belden and Martin Street.
Okay.
And is the contract have the correct month in it now? I know Craig had said that.
I changed that, yeah, I did.
Okay, just want to make
I
sure.
had a copy of that.
February 28th.
Yeah, it should be on number 11 on the contract.
okay. All right, so a motion for the first reading of bill number 1976.
Motion.
Motion by Martin.
Second.
Second by Black. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? First reading.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a contract with AAA Tree Service for tree trimming services.
Okay, for the first reading of bill number 1976, motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Holt.
Second.
Second by Black. Hold council, please.
Copeland?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Holt?
Yes.
Okay, first reading of 1976 passes 4-0. Motion for the second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Black.
Second.
Second by Holt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Second reading of bill number 1976.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a contract with AAA Tree Service for tree trimming services.
Okay, you've heard the second reading of bill number 1976. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion by Black, second by Martin. Hold council, please.
Holt?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Copeland?
Okay, second reading passes 4-0. Bill number 1976 is now special ordinance number 798. 798. All right, from there,
And, can I just say on the agenda too, probably next should be the old unfinished.
I was gonna say.
My
I was gonna mention the same thing, go ahead and do that part now. So, with that being said, we will finish on the old unfinished new business before we move into executive session. Only thing I want to add to that right now is, unfortunately, before tonight's meeting, Alderman Grady reached out about the passing of his father-in-law. So I'd like to wish Warren and Donna the best. Sorry to hear that they had a loss, and we'll certainly be thinking about it. So that's why Warren was not able to make it this evening. I don't have anything else to add to that. Kevin?
One thing. I had a few people come up and ask me about the veterans thing that we said we were going to make a monument, names on, want to know where we're at. And if we have the money in the budget, we don't have the money in the budget, we do have capital improvement, I would like to see this follow through, get us the price on this, at least we'll know, you know, we put in the budget, do we have capital improvement to do this? So all I can say, if they ask me about, I want to know what's the hold up on it, I don't know, I'm not on the committee. But I'm sure we're looking into it hopefully, and, you know, I'd like to follow through and.
Are you talking about the monument?
Yeah, named on it.
I think we beat that horse to death. I don't know what more they need to know. We have turned that over to Tennessee Go and Callahan, or Callahan. They have the information, they have the forms. If somebody's interested in having their name put on that, they need to be contacting them, paying accordingly.
Yeah, I think the park board might have taken over some of that too.
Well, they're looking at a veterans park or something, so.
So Roger did come up with the China Foundation grant. I did fill out that information just for application purposes, but I haven't heard back yet. I mean, I don't know.
But that's really two separate things, isn't it, that we're talking, I mean, I'm assuming they are talking to you about what's over here.
Talk about building another one, apparently, we're going to put another one out.
But, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know, but.
Yeah, I know there's a citizen committee, and I know the parks were planning, had something in their budget that I don't think is gonna happen this year, but they're gonna possibly discuss next year. So, you know, it's not a dead issue, but I think, you know, there's nothing major in the works right now.
But if they're asking about having names added to this,
Yeah.
they need to.
So all I have to do is talk to Carl or what's his say, but they can tell us where they're at. I
I
can do
think they
that.
should have applications. If they don't, I have copies of them, and I don't know, do you have copies of them here for people to fill out if they want their name on this?
Yeah, we haven't had anybody, I mean, we have that copy, but we've had people come in, but we don't know what to do from there because we don't have it.
I think it's a money thing, isn't it? They're gonna have to fork over the cash to have their name put on there, and it's quite expensive, I don't.
Now, I'm thinking they're talking about what Jeff brought up, about building another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know where we're at on that.
Well, we're nowhere as far as I know. That's not. But I think the issue is why we need to build another one when we haven't filled out that one. So, and again, lots of dough, you know, my personal opinion is this is kind of dumb to the city staff. It was never our project to begin with, it's on city property, and so now it's our baby, I guess, but, I don't know that we have any monetary investment in that.
I mean, we have nothing budgeted for it. It was, again, there's a citizen committee that was formed, and, I know the parks was trying to set some money aside to look at maybe putting something over by the pool area or anywhere else, but that's not gonna be on this year's budget.
Yeah, I knew what, I got one other thing, the Indian project out here by tourism and this and that. We do need to start putting the money back for maintenance on that project, so when it starts, you know, deteriorating down, we will have the money to repair that, that's probably not gonna be too cheap. So we do need to start line item next year budget, to get some money in there for maintenance on that.
I did make an effort to contact the FFA person regarding the ground itself out there, and maybe they could join with the city or partner to maintain the grasses and the native plantings and that sort of thing. I think the COVID has kind of put them on hold, plus their grass group, their grass group. This is the time of year that they do contests and so forth, so I'm not sure they really had time to address that, but, I think
Yeah, I think it's a good avenue.
Possibility to take some of the stress off of our
Sure.
city workers.
I'm good. Anything to do?
No, I did have a person comment on the hole in the building back here, and Craig and his crew jumped right in and fixed it up. We had a little kitchen problem out there apparently.
Very good. Glad that's resolved.
Yeah.
Sam?
Sure, sir.
Curtis?
No.
Anybody else? Chris?
No, sir.
That being said, motion to go into executive session.
Motion.
Motion by Holt. Second by Martin. Poll with council, please.
Copeland, Martin,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
All right.